We checked in with meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees. Brittany is back here in studio. I was about to say as promised, but I don't think we promised anybody that you were going to be back. We should have. I think we made those plans after you were here.
We made those plans at the commercial break.
During the commercial,
the good folks at home did not see it.
I don't even remember, but yes, we're back.
Brittany's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't remember if we talked about it. What I messaged Nick and Carlene before I came in here, as I said, a little bit less yapping, a little bit more forecasting, although it was all just to give people kind of suggestions of what to do. So moral of the story is you need to be prepared by Saturday afternoon to be in your safe place. I was suggesting earlier around 4 p.m. I think that's a safe bet. That way 4 o'clock hits and you're like, oh man, I forgot XYZ. You still have a little bit of time to go out, run and grab it before the actual impacts start to begin. This is going to start Saturday afternoon, linger all day on Sunday, and start to taper off as we get closer to Monday. So essentially, as you look at the weather impact timeline, you can see that taper up and taper back down. You can see a few areas Monday, late Tuesday morning, likely still going to be impacted. This will depend on how much ice we get. With temperatures Monday afternoon barely getting above the freezing mark, there is going to be a risk that we'll still see black ice, slippery conditions all the way into Tuesday morning too. You can see on Saturday the winter weather impacts are medium. I would say that's from pretty much the mountains down south. This is because we're going to be chilly and we're going to be, again, ramping up these impacts. By the time you get to Sunday and Monday morning, those colors are going to be widespread in the high and the extreme. So here's a really good way, I think, of explaining to people what the different impacts are going to be. Starting Saturday afternoon, all day Sunday, tapering off by Monday. Biggest is going to be hazardous travel and freezing rain. That is going to be not only the biggest impact for folks that maybe have to be out on the roadways for whatever reason, but remember, freezing rain can accumulate onto trees. Sometimes those trees can fall. That can cause issues on power lines, but also 0.5 inches, so half of an inch of ice, does feel like on a power line someone 500 pounds is sitting on top of it, or something 500 pounds. So that alone can allow for a power line to snap. If this forecast verifies, we will have likely widespread travel issues, but also scattered power outages. Previously, it did look like most of this was going to be straight freezing rain. The only thing that's really changed over the last 24 hours has been that freezing rain will mix in a little bit more with sleet. So while I'll say that is a slight improvement, that does not mean that we're out of the woods. I would say if we were at, and I don't want to assign a number to it, but if we were at DEFCON 5 yesterday, we're probably at DEFCON 4.5. It's still substantial. Yeah. This is not like, oh my gosh, we have no impacts. It's not that substantial of a change. Thing I will also reiterate is that if you are using a generic weather app on your phone to get your forecasts, please stop doing that. I don't know if you can actually delete Apple Weather from your iPhone, but it's not a reliable source. A lot of those apps are still showing 10 to 20 inches of snow in Charlotte, and I can guarantee with 100%, if not 200% certainty that is not going to happen. There will be at times probably some snow mixing in, but that is essentially just going to add to the mess. If we get any kind of pure snow, it will add to the mess we already have of freezing rain and sleet. Chris was comparing this yesterday, and Brad as well, to 2002, 2016. 2002, a little bit more severe. I think we'll sit closer to 2016 with that latest change. But again, that was still the last time we had a widespread ice storm here in the Charlotte area. And I would take a gander that since 2021, think about how many statistically people have moved here to Charlotte. That was just 5 years ago. I was one of those people. Most people who are living across the metro have moved here within the last, let's say, 5 to 7 years, right? It was a big influx post-COVID, and those people did not experience 2016. So please, if you are from up north, you're not from Charlotte, you're from Florida, wherever it is, please remember that not only if you've been through ice storms before, this is a different city, handles it differently. The people also who live here handle it differently, whether that's travel or otherwise. So don't please compare it to your previous experiences unless you have lived in Charlotte and you were here in 2016 or 2002. Essentially, unless you're Larry Sprinkle, you should not be comparing it to your previous experience. So let's rewind back. Futurecast ice. We'll start to see these areas, snow and freezing rain Saturday afternoon. Accumulation becomes much more noticeable by Saturday nights, and any set time you get essentially to 0.1 or higher, that's when the biggest impacts are going to be. If you had to ask me which day will be the worst day, Sunday by a landslide. Saturday afternoon things start, Sunday's the worst. We do hope for improvement Monday, but a lot of that will depend on how much ice we accumulate, because again, those temperatures Monday will barely get out of the freezing mark, and even if they do start to melt a little bit, with a low temperatures Tuesday morning in the mid-teens, quick refreeze. So again, this is going to be a big impact across the board. If you were looking for straight snow, you got to go to Ashwaubenon and Avery County, and even some of those areas will mix in with sleet. Sleet and ice is the issue from pretty much the I-40 corridor all the way down toward Lancaster, Chesterfield, Chester counties. So our area, our region, our 22 counties that go from Ash at the tippy top, Chesterfield at the very southeast, are going to be impacted by this storm. Every single person in our 22 county DMA area of interest, where we cover news and weather here in the Charlotte metro, is going to be impacted. The worst is going to be right along the I-40 corridor and down south to I-85, right essentially in the bullseye of Mecklenburg County. And it's not just here locally, but across a lot of the country right now. You're seeing Texas, New England, or New Mexico. New England's under a winter storm watch, but New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, northern Louisiana, southern Missouri, all the way into Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Ohio. All of those areas recently getting upgraded to a winter storm warning, which is the highest level of winter storm alerts. We are still under a winter storm watch. Well, the reason why I'm telling you this is these areas that are west of us that are getting the storm first are already starting to be upgraded. There is a chance that we will be at some point as well, but that just shows you the broad scope of this. Think about during a hurricane how oftentimes we will send help, let's say to Florida, or another state will send help to us. This could be a situation in which, yes, we have already organizations. I know Governor Stein was talking about this earlier, other states that have kind of helped, but this is going to be one of those times where we are going to see the potential of other areas maybe not being able to help like they usually would, because it's going to be so widespread. So again, that's what's happening with your winter storm watches and warnings. Let's talk really quickly about what's happening right now. A little bit of rain. This has been persistent over the last few hours here in the Charlotte area. Light rain today, temperatures in the upper 50s. This has nothing to do with what we are seeing over the next few days. So here's Thursday, 11 o'clock. Notice again, temperatures pretty mild. We're mostly in the 40s tomorrow with a few brief showers passing by. But notice that Friday night, briefly on Saturday, we're pretty clear before here comes the mess. So again, if you're able to do so, I'd say today or tomorrow, your best bet to go ahead and get all of those things done by Saturday, again, 4 p.m. That's when my advice would be. I mean, I care about all the viewers here, but if you were my best friend, you know, my sister who has 2 young kids, she's a nurse, it would be 4 p.m. on Saturday, widespread all throughout the day, and then again, off and on through Sunday as well. We eventually will start to see clearing conditions Sunday night and into Monday morning, but again, we are still in the bullseye from Saturday night through most of the day on Sunday. Chris made this graphic earlier. I think it's fantastic to kind of explain. People have been asking a lot about salt and brine, and yes, they have coated the roadways. A lot of them already have. It's a great way to prevent against snow accumulation causing issues on the roads, maybe the first layer or two of freezing rain or sleet, but it's only moderately helpful when you start to get layers upon layers. So again, don't let the fact that you think, oh, well, no worries, DOT just salted the roads, I'm good. This is going to be a widespread impact for everybody. So again, that corridor right between I-40 and I-85, we're expecting the worst ice potential. You see the area shaded in purple. That's 0.5. That's where you get that 500 pounds on the power lines issue. Sleet and snow, again, we know it's all sleet mixed in with freezing rain here. Up toward the mountains, probably the only spot that you would see straight snow here in the metro. So highest accumulations, again, still expected in the mountains, but it's just not something that we necessarily deal with all the time here in the Charlotte area. I'll reiterate the fact that we want you to keep weather impact alert all Saturday, all Sunday, through Monday as well. Again, Monday, we might extend our weather alert into most of Monday, maybe even Tuesday morning, but a lot of that will have to do with what we are going to be working with after the system has mainly at least precipitated itself out, which happens on Sunday. We will be here, WCNC Plus, WCNC Charlotte, every single day on the hour, eventually continuous coverage, bringing you updates. So please stay safe. Again, try to be Saturday afternoon in your safe place that you could hunker down if you had to all weekend and could still survive with whatever you have at home, even if you were to lose power and all of those things. A lot more information, of course, to come here on our streaming platform and our WCNC Charlotte mobile app, WCNC Charlotte. So we're the team to trust. Make sure you are doing so. And please, again, remember not to get your forecast this weekend from a weather app.
Like I said earlier, the best weather team in the business. They are rarely wrong. You guys
Wrong is also perspective.
I'm just saying. Look,
if there's a 20% chance of rain that rains at Carlene's house and not at Nick's, it doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong, but Nick might think so.
If Brittany said it rained at my house, and it rained at my house. So
I did.
No, I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm messing with you, Brittany. I'm messing with you, Brittany. But no, I mean this sincerely. Like a great weather team. Make sure you stay tuned in. Here on WCNC Plus and during our evening newscast. Of course, I gotta mention it. 6:30, the live weather impact show here. You get some really good stuff on that show.
Get into the weeds of it.
Get in the weeds of it. Brad Panovich, Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, also Tim Buckley from WFMY, our content partners there in Greensboro. So yeah, we should be ready. We should be ready to go. Thanks for the forecast. Hopefully you at home are getting ready, as Brittany said. Let's take a quick break.
Yep.